Welcome to the T-Bird Zone, streamed every week on SUTBirds.com and SUUnews.com. I'm Kyle Cottam, and we're in studio with head football coach Ed Lamb previewing the matchup against the North Dakota Fighting Sioux this weekend. And Coach, this weekend, two ranked teams, North Dakota coming into the game in the top 25 at number 24. We're in the various polls, number 17, number 19. But really, North Dakota is coming in this game 2-2. The two wins over one Drake, 16-0, Black Hills State, which I believe is a D2, 53-19. Two losses against FBS schools, Idaho 44-14, Fresno State 27-22. This being the conference opener for both schools, and really North Dakota's first test at the FCS level. What are the anticipations? What are the expectations going into this game for the team?
Well, for their team, I think you hit the nail on the head. They probably see this as a test, a real, and maybe a first test. They had some games they should have lost based on divisions, and some games they should have won based on classifications, and they seem to have held serve, so to speak. And they're a very good team. They're always very innovative on offense, and after watching the video, that's clear of them again this year. They're a physical team. They take great pride in wearing their uniform and playing for North Dakota. And they always give us a lot of trouble. We'll have our hands full. We'll have to have a great week of preparation.
North Dakota runs the ball really well. They average 181 yards per game on the ground. One of their backs, Jake Miller, averages just over 7 yards per carry, leads the team with 6 touchdowns. Is that really where the defense is keyed on this week, is stopping the run as a priority?
Every week, yeah, that's fundamental defensive football. You got to, even against teams that want to chuck it around all game, you have to stop the run and make it a passing situation, or it's really difficult to play defense.
Do you find that to be to our advantage? Again, North Dakota coming to a higher altitude, where they may be, sucking wind late if they are planning on running the ball all game.
I haven't seen that out of North Dakota. I think they're well coached, they're well conditioned. They're not a lazy football team. They have a lot of depth. They'll rotate players in and out. So I don't think that altitude is going to be the factor. I think if there's a factor, it'll be that our guys have worked harder, prepared harder, and are in better fitness and have better strength. If that's the case, then we'll get an advantage there. If not, then we'll have to find other advantages.
Last year, the game at North Dakota, really a turning point for the team last year. The team had to play from behind, got the victory in Grand Forks, and ended up going on a 5-game winning streak, including sweeping every opponent in Great West Conference football play. Is this another game where obviously there's a ton of momentum going into this game? How does the team perpetuate that as the season progresses?
Well, I think it's like you say. Our team's been on a pretty good roll, dating back to that point last year. I think that was 10 games ago, and in that time period, we're 8-2 as a team. And there's not a lot that translates from one year to the next. We have a completely different team. There are players on our team that weren't here last year, and a lot of players were there last year that aren't around. But overall, the direction that our team is moving from a maturation standpoint and a standpoint that they expect to win every game, I think they just have to keep that going and never forget what's gotten them in this position. That is, they simply outwork every other team.
I mentioned that this is the conference opener for both schools. Again, and with the buzz around the community, it seems that it's the team. The goal is playoff bound. Where that seems to be the focus. But is the focus more conference championship? Is the focus a playoff berth? Or is a conference championship really just the icing on the cake should a playoff run happen at the end of the year?
Well, we have to set our priorities based on what we can achieve now, and the only thing we can achieve now is to get to 4-1 by beating University of North Dakota, and that's all we can do. And then the rest of our goals are linear as well. We can't get a playoff selection until we earn a winning season, and then we can't get a conference championship without winning our conference games first. And then if we win our conference championship and we've got a winning season going, and we get down to the end of the year in the last few games and we have a chance to make a run for the playoffs, then that will become more forefront and more of an emphasis in terms of what we talk about.
What are the key? Either the key matchup going into this game against North Dakota, or what are the areas on the field that fans should watch?
Well, look for our offense to continue to run the ball. I thought we ran the ball well last week against UNLV in the second half. I thought we ran it efficiently, if not for a bunch of yards, and we'd like to do that from the start of the game and keep it going. It opens up our passing game. It keeps our defense off the field and fresh. And then we got to have our defense continue to play with the passion and energy that we have. And if we have that kind of execution physically on offense and passion and physical play on defense, then that needs to translate into our special teams units as well, which have been really solid.
Special teams really have been I don't want to say the show the last few games, but I think those have really been a huge difference maker. In that game against UNLV, great protection from the offensive line, 0 sacks allowed. The red zone, the team was also highly efficient, 3 for 3, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. And then penalties, again, the team limited penalties, only 4 for 26 yards. Obviously, all 3 of those are ideal in any game situation, but if you could only pick one of those going into this game with North Dakota, what would it be? Interesting question. We emphasize all of those. There's no doubt about it. Red zone is very important, but without protection and if you're committing penalties, then you're not going to get in the red zone. So I guess that would be, in trying to compare those 3, this is a awkward scenario, but I would throw that one out first, and then maybe if we couldn't pass protect, we could probably still run the ball, and if we stayed out of penalty situations. So I think playing smart and staying out of the penalty situation's got to be priority number 1. Okay, outstanding. We'll look forward to the game. This is a 1 o'clock kickoff in Echols Coliseum on Saturday in North Dakota Fighting Sioux against your Southern Utah University Thunderbirds. You can follow the live stats online at SUTBirds.com. Also follow the video feed there. Thanks as always for joining us, and we'll see you next week.